Erice is going to be there on the pos 4 puck, and you have your position 3 Abaddon being played by Van. Of course, you is going to be around on the Ogre, and you've got DB on what appears to be a position 1 death prompt.
Yeah, it's an awkward draft from both sides because of those last picks. So you've got the safe lane DP, it should hold its own here. You've got a nice tanky frontliner in UK to just apply the harassment early on, and DB's going to be very hard to zone out, of course. As the levels go on, you're going to get levels in the Spirit Siphon, so you still have the puck versus DP lane, and that's something both sides can kind of temper out. Van as well, it's not going to be easy to zone out with a Aphotic Shield, so it should hold steady. It really just depends on how far some of these heroes step out, and I think UK is the one who's going to push that envelope. He's always going to be forward. He just wants to spam his thoughts and ensure that DB has some good farm here.
Absolutely. So over in the mid lane, you've got Mamang Daya up against Jamesy. Now, this lane doesn't exactly seem that easy for the Meepo, but at least for now, Mamang Daya is having a decent enough time. Is there a stage where Jamesy or Mamang Daya should be a little bit concerned about their safety?
Yeah, I think once you hit level 4 on Jamesy, that's where it can start to get dicey for the Meepo. Of course, at that point, the Meepo should start to rotate in and out of the jungle. You can start clearing out some of the smaller camps and just bursting it down with your poof. So it takes some levels, but Jamesy should still hold this lane steady. You worry about when the Meepo starts dipping into the jungle, and you really need your supports to step up to the plate there, which is where a pos 4 puck can come in really handy. It can scout out the jungle well. You definitely don't want to give free farm to Mamang Daya here. But for the most part, you know, Jamesy's still holding that lane steady, and Mamang Daya is copying a lot of hits just to find that stable lane farm for now.
Absolutely, of course, he does have the water rune to go back to, so a bit more HP for Mamang Daya. Love that, and he has another one as well if he wants to try. Jamesy hasn't actually run up for it, and I think Mamang Daya is thinking about it. Jamesy is going to kind of block the pathing there, and I think it is going to be a very easy secure for the Leshrac. Of course, the bot lane, the last one we haven't spoken about yet. Bing is there on his AM against woMy, who seems to be doing a very good job at slowing down this anti-mage. Of course, you do have LYM around on the Earth Spirit, who's going for a rotation, and Grimzx on the Undying, who's running all the way back to the fountain.
Yeah, I mean, when you run out of mana on the Undying, you just don't do anything. You leave your AM alone, he melts to a Timbersaw. Never good news.
He does. And that's the thing as well, John. Like, you can drain the mana of the Timber, but he's going to go Soul Ring. He's going to have Mangoes. And at that, with the Soul Ring, it's going to be more than enough to kind of give the harassment back to the point where a Bing probably won't even want to drain your mana.
Yeah, it's a tough lane for Abing. Like, support Undying just doesn't do as much for you. And like, yeah, it's a strength here. You're sapping away at with your decay stacks. It doesn't feel amazing. And LYM has more levels up. He can start to rotate around. You don't really have that threat as the Undying, right? You want to stay in the side lane. You want to just get some safe farm for your core. So there's just not much presence from the supports in Cignal Ultra. It's really only Erice who can make something happen, whereas for Army Geniuses, they've already got that early pressure going. You already see mid, level 5's up for Mamang Daya. He can leave the lane. And this is something that we didn't really point out as well, but I saw Mamang Daya snipe the bounty rune. And with these rune intervals, it's really easy for Meepo to send one of his divided clones out and just steal away runes, and you can't really do much about it unless your supports are on top of that situation.
Well, that's actually a very good point, John. Something I didn't really think about, but certainly with those Meepo clones, being able to get the runes is going to be very impactful. As well as that, being able to just jungle this early on allows LYM to come in. And John, let me tell you, as an Earth Spirit player, there is nothing better than your mid laner giving you the lane this early on. There's nothing better. This is what every Earth Spirit dreams of. Just being able to sit in mid lane, get the XP up very fast, and then be impactful earlier than you could have been.
Yeah, it's just a lot of free space, a lot of free XP that's allowed to flow. And it's enabled by the fact that Meepo jungles like a madman. So Mamang Daya just roams around, clears out camps very quickly. There's no movement out from Cignal Ultra to punish. Erice is still stuck at level 2. Just playing tag with UK's Ogre, trying to secure some steady farm up for Van. You are getting some decent farm in the Abaddon. He's not lagging too far behind this lane, but you're kind of just allowing this Meepo to free farm. He's even invading that triangle area.
They saw him there for a second, but they weren't able to jump in, and he just poofs right away. DB needs to be somewhat careful here on the DP, getting past that tier 1 tower, but I suppose in the pos 4 puck being level 2, you can't really do too much. about DB just doing whatever he wants in the laning phase. Just gotta kind of wait it out and try to get your levels up as mid lane. Jamesy roll is gonna connect. LYM very nice into the ensnares down. Mamang Daya wants to have his way with the Leshrac. It's a lot of Pulse Nova damage, but he is out of mana. Great rotation in from the supports of Army Geniuses. That'll be the second kill of the game, but a very important one, killing off that mid Leshrac.
And that's just the difference of the supports. Like, you show up with the Ogre, you've always got a stun, you can always throw your body forward, and with the Earth Spirit around, you can get that long-range initiation. Whereas for Cignal Ultra, you only really have Erice who can apply that pressure. Like, an Undying partner doesn't do much for you. You can't really leave your AM alone against the Timbersaw, so they're just stuck trying to kind of hold these side lanes, whereas Army Geniuses can set the pace, and they've got a 2k lead. They're forcing out Obbing up top, though.
They are. DB getting a bit lower. Van trying to chase him down. A Bing is going to be around to try and secure the last hit. Doesn't really get it, but it won't matter. They do find 2 for their trouble. They found the carry DP. With that, I suppose they could start pressuring that tier 1 top tower if they so wish. Could have a siege creep, and yeah, they do. Not the healthiest siege creep in the world, but Bing can get a bit of damage off into that tier 1 before it does go down.
Yeah. Just him though. Everyone else has kind of left. They want to go back to farming. Jamesy doesn't really stick around with a level 3 edict. And
yeah, Grimzx, you can't run into the jungle like that, sir. Mamang Daya is almost certainly going to be there. And top laner Bing could be in a slight bit of danger if he's not too careful. YM has got the level 1 silence. No, it looks like they've seen each other. That'll be enough. Bing will back off.
Hey, this is such a rough AM game. Look at Obbing's farm. Only has power treads, not a single part in the Battle Fury at 7.5 minutes. So the pace is definitely hurting here for Obbing. 2.5k net worth, way behind. And that's not what you want to see. woMy just got a free lane, clears out the tier 1, and it is almost dropping Van. He does not have his level 6 up yet.
Oh, he has the level 6. He's holding the skill point. Holding the skill point for now, seeing if he needs to go for the borrowed time. Now he'll hold on to it. He won't bother. woMy is playing a very nice Timbersaw here as well, just getting that tier 1 tower, and I'm sure very soon he'll rotate towards the top lane and just defend that forever, or even the mid lane, depending on what lane needs to be defended. Either way, it's all going to be fine for the Timber. And for Cignal Ultra, well, you know your game plan, right? You're playing a 4 Protect 1, but well, right now, Bing, he needs a lot more. He needs some more help here.
Yeah, he diverted for the Orb of Corrosion as well, so again, it slows down your pace for your full Battle Fury, and you're just allowing this Meepo to free farm with the pace here from Mamang Daya. 4.4k net worth, uncontested in the jungle, up ahead by at least 1k now. He's gonna hit that timing into the E-Blade super quick, and that just makes it a very hard game once that power spikes up. Like, the burst potential here for Army Geniuses is going to be ridiculous.
Mid lane, Fire Blast out on Jamesy, roll in, LYM not going to land it, but gets the silence into the boulder smash, and now the instans around. A Bodic Shoot going to save the day for now. Jamesy will turn back around. Mamang Daya dropping quite low, trying to get out of there. For now, he is out, but Erice is going to chase him down and gets the kill. They even got UK. Still, Erice does drop, and so does Jamesy. A 2-for-2 trade, pretty even when you consider it was one support and one mid laner going down on each side. That'll be it.
It's a bit bigger there for Cignal. Like, you kill off the Meepo, he was worth a hell lot more. So you start to grab back some of that net worth. You're still lagging by 3k. And the big benefit here for Cignal is that Exorcism was popped without actually touching the tower. The tier 1 mid for Army Geniuses is down to 79 HP. So one little chunk from Jamesy should get that.
He doesn't have the borrowed time. It's on cooldown right now with woMy. Nice kill there on the Timber. It's an easy for him. Still, while that was happening though, Jamesy got the mid tier 1 tower, and that's going to make Mamang Daya's life a lot harder on that Meepo, assuming Cignal Ultra will get together and just start rotating as 4, which in theory, based off the time of the game, should be very soon. However, towards the top side, well, just fighting over an Invis rune, not too big of a deal. But you are getting to that stage now where your puck's going to hit level 6, and you want to start rotating as 4 and just trying to make as much space for Obbing as possible.
Yeah, you're hitting some good strides here for Cignal Ultra to play with. I do take issue with the fact that Grimzx has not really gotten any EXP. Level 4 at 10 minutes in is actually not very common with the changes to XP per minute, and that just shows how far behind he came in laning phase. So your Undying's impact is not amazing. The burst healing you have on Soul Rip isn't up to its max potential yet. You've got an issue with his Timbersaw. woMy already has that very early hit of Defiance and actually is about to finish up the pipe. So the damage output from the Leshrac and the Puck aren't going to feel as great as long as the pipe actives up.
Smoke up, Cignal Ultra, here we go. Where are we headed? They head down towards the bot side of the map. They don't really want to go for this Ogre. You making sure that that his Meepo does stay defended in that bot lane. Instead, they go into the triangle now, but nobody's hanging around, and they know they have to wrap around the long way onto Mamang Daya. And it looks like they may get their wish unless Mamang Daya poofs away right now. Smoke does break on Jamesy, but no, the coil's there. He is stuck. It doesn't look great for him. He'll try to fight this one out, but they get the split earth down, and that'll be your Meepo gone.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Very nice rotation there from Cignal, and a lot of patience as well to run through the Daya triangle rather than just trying to get through the Ogre. Definitely a very smart play from Cignal.
I love this coming out from Army Geniuses, so it immediately counter smoke. They know Dream Coil's down, and that's very vulnerable for Cignal.
Hey, Erice is going to be in a spot of danger. He's going to try and jaunt away. The park should eventually just fall. woMy will just not stop chasing, and yeah, he gets him. They find any more? Bad. Gonna be alright for now. LYM has not spotted him out. DB doesn't see him either. He's not going to be that easy of a target anyway on that pot 3 Abaddon. So instead, Army Geniuses, they'll go into the mid-tier 1 tower and see if they can make that go down.
Yeah, they've got the numbers. They've got Exo ready if they want to use it on DB. So they can easily overwhelm this tower, but there's enough time for Cignal to actually bring their numbers in. And Army Geniuses are just kind of playing poke, keeping their distance. They would ideally want to fight with their Meepo, but it looks like they're just going to wait for that full E-Blade to fly out first.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Yeah, still sticking around that mid lane. Cignal Ultra, they'll be there to defend. You've got Erice with a Veil of Discord up though. He has to be very cautious. He jaunts it in. Does lose half his HP, but there's your dream call out. LYM, he'll go straight into the backlines with a big magnetize onto 3 heroes, but where's your follow-up? woMy, he breaks the coil. He wants to go straight through the tree line, back onto Erice and Grimzx. Can he find them? Looks like he will be able to find Grimzx at least for now, as Erice still being chased down. Should die, but does jaunt away, but eventually does fall as woMy. He does get Grimzx as well. And Van, well, he's not safe either, John. Borrow time on cooldown. LYM has the boulder smash and does connect it with the silent sound. Van, he is still trying to run, but they are diving right underneath the tier 2 tower and they will get him. A lot of kills. The mid tier 1 also dropping. The only thing Cignal Ultra get for their trouble, at least so far, is the tier 1 top. But now they found the Yules out onto Mamang Daya. He'll poof in his clothes, but it's not going to be enough. Jamesy does secure the kill and will survive the Ethereal Blade.
Yeah, it's a very important pick-off. I'd say that makes most of that's worthwhile. You're slowing down Mamang Daya's overwhelming start. There's still really good farm here on Army Geniuses, though. They are 3k up, 6 to 10. The investment here in Abing is starting to build up. He just lacks a perseverance now to go into the Battle Fury, and then you can really start to accelerate the farm. They just need to hold a little bit more of the map. They can't afford to give away tier 2s here. Cignal Ultra will have to continuously throw their bodies out to prevent any more map loss before Abing's ready to really farm up.
Tombstone down. They're going to catch woMy with the Dream Coil. I'm not sure if this is going to be the team fight, though. There's a lot of heroes around. Jamesy still trying to go onto UK, but the pipe is going to keep everyone safe, as now they'll turn right back around onto the Abaddon. At least for a second, but eventually they back off, and I'm not 100% sure what the Dream Caller was really about there. As Army Geniuses will continue moving in. A Bing going to be spotted, but he's going to be able to blink away. Bing, well, he's doing the right thing on the anti-mage, right? He's just running around the map farming. He's got his Battle Fury up. He'll be doing this for the next 20 minutes or so.
Yep. Now the key thing is to ensure Obbing is just not contested. The investment in the AM can pay off. You still worry about the Meepo being ahead of your AM. Ideally, you'd want an item advantage here, and they just need more.
Grims, he's gone. Nice easy Undying kills. Now they even found the Park stun. It is gonna land. Erice gonna try and run, but look at the control. Just so much control to be had. As long as they can land one stun or silence, you can almost guarantee somebody dying. And they go into the tier 2 tower. They have the siege creep. They aren't gonna bother popping the exorcism yet, as the DB's level 11. He'd probably rather wait to the level 12 mark. And they don't really need it either. The siege creep is going to be enough with the bloodlust to take down this tier 2.
Tower is under attack.
Yeah, they've got really good control there. I mean, you just see woMy standing in front, circling away, and they catch a big one up top.
Uh-oh.
Daya's
A big
bottom tower is under attack.
getting caught by Mamang Daya. Maybe just not assuming that Mamang would be up at top lane, but that's where he was. That's a big one indeed, John. He needs some farm desperately to help out his team, but it's not coming fast enough.
No, he's taking that riskier farm, playing top, the opposite side of where Army Geniuses are. He just has to remember, there's a Meepo, it can be all over the map real quick. There's a blink now for Mamang Daya as well, so he can gap close much easier to get that perfect poof and to line up the combination. So this is where it gets scary. Meepo with blink and E-Blade, 9k net worth at just about 17 minutes in. Really good farm coming out from Mamang Daya despite those 3 deaths. And Army Geniuses can keep applying that pressure around the map. They have to play this quick game. They do not want to drag it long as the power spike of the Meepo starts to sort of taper off once items fly in. They just need to keep running at them.
Okay, go in. Dream Coil committed on the Ogre. Again, they have that pipe up, and woMy's just going to frontline here. Jamesy's going to try and run in. They really want the Ogre, and they do get him, but Erice might die for his trouble and does. Maybe now they can keep going, though. The silence is there. woMy dropping low, but so is LYM. They'll take the Earth Spirit first, but here comes Mamang Daya onto the left track, and he is already almost dead, as Jamesy cannot run away from DB, and now they can reinitiate back onto Van. The ensnare's not quite reaching. Nevertheless, a 2-for-2 trade, but it definitely favors Army Geniuses.
Yeah, they're really happy about that one. They get to reveal the blink in a big way there for Mamang Daya. They can rotate into the Roche, and without the Leshrac, this is not going to be something you can contest easily for Cignal Ultra. Roche just melts so fast with all of the Meepo clones, along with the Exo Pop and the Solar Crest coming through. It's going to be way too slow for Cignal Ultra to respond. It's really down to Erice, but not quite in position. So nice first Aegis coming through here for the side of Army Geniuses. Second life available now on Mamang Daya. Gonna be harder to, or it'll take a little bit more commitment to lock in the Meepo, and you have to watch for that burst on the second life. Like, he comes back in, all his clones are on top, poof away, and you get a lot of damage on one target.
Army Geniuses, they've seen enough, they'll back right off. 6k net worth lead though, definitely gonna be looking very scary here for Cignal Ultra. Army Geniuses well and truly in the lead in this game, number 1. What can they do to buy a bit more space? Like, we're 18 minutes in, he's still 4th on the net worth board. He's slowly catching up, but it feels like they're losing way too much map control while he's farming. What else can Cignal do here?
And this is the best you're doing. I think they're still getting space out for the AM. As long as Obbing doesn't overexert himself in the lanes, he should be fine. Like, you always have to respect Mamang Daya. He's probably just always going to track the lane AIM's farming in, so you can get that blink combo on top and try to burst him down fast. And for the most part, Cignal, you know, it's not as bad as the 7k lead for AG isn't exactly unplayable yet. They just, again, need to prevent these tier 2s from falling, and need to throw their bodies for it to stop that push.
Well, there's that tier 2 top tower, just dropping so darn quick. Love that they actually solar crested woMy instead of Mamang Daya. Well, why the hell not, I guess. Timbersaws can attack too. There you go. Tier 2 tower. It's gone.
Yep. Nice and simple.
Go for... I'd say go for a Roshan, but it's already gone down to Mamang Daya, so... What other objective do you want to play for here, John?
More tier 2s, tier 2 mid, maybe get some deep wards in that bot jungle, control the map further. Obbing still allowed to sort of farm up. Maybe you could rectify that. They are scouting well here.
Oh, nice silence. It does land. Another silence is there. DB, oh, they've got him. LYM gets a stun off, the ensnares around, and that'll be a dead anti-mage. He's trying his best, he really is, but it's that observer ward placed by the side of Army Geniuses, and this is very smart. They know our Bing is going to farm the opposite triangle, understanding he's losing his side of the map. So instead, you place the ward there, and you just wait it out until he goes and kind of falls for the trap. And then you just take out the anti-mage. It's very kind of clinical stuff here from Army Geniuses.
Yeah, and it's just working all across the map, although Dreamcoil onto one.
Now they found DB though, that's a pos 1 DP. So it is kind of well worth it if they can kill him, but DB's still healing up. He will eventually drop. As long as he's going to come in now, but here comes Mamang Daya. He's the big one. They burst out the left track. Jamesy still alive, but just barely. He should drop, but no, the Essence Ring going to keep him alive a little bit longer, but not for long. Mamang Daya does eventually get him as they go in for more now. Van targeted. They get the Aegis off the Meepo. Bing has joined his team. So that's going to be enough. A 1-for-1 trade. And I'd argue that has to favor Cignal Ultrons. They got the pos 1 DP and they got the Aegis off the Meepo. Cignal, they, all things being said and done, should be pretty happy with that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a win to win. You get some gold going your way. You manage to save out Bing as well. So you get that steady build-up. He's almost at the Manta, and the Manta is going to be a major spike for AM. You can dodge out of the root. You can try to get yourself away from safety. The silences aren't going to be enough to lock in Bing at that point. So it's an added point of durability for the AM, and he just needs to be patient. He needs to farm that additional 1k gold. Army Geniuses lost the Aegis. It was kind of long in the tooth already. They only had about a minute 40 on it, so I think that's a decent time to expand Aegis. They still get control. They're controlling the bot lane. They're eyeing that bot tier 2, and with no Dreamcoil, it's hard to defend.
Grimzx, he's been caught in the Yule Scepter, and they have the control. Better be our Undying God.
Daya's top tower is under attack.
And that tier 2 bottom tower is not looking very safe. Not for Cignal Ultra.
No, the creep wave is coming in. You've got Exorcism ready on DB, but he's probably not going to need it. You've got enough raw damage here to go through it. The one thing I'd like to see Cignal Ultra do is start setting up around Roche. They need some more wards out. This bot ward in the jungle, it's not doing anything for them. I mean, it's just counteracted by that triangle ward. And they're kind of just letting Bing farm blind. They just don't have enough odds. Look at all the sentries and Army Geniuses to just keep that vision control. Now they're onto the high ground as well.
That they are. And it's not too hard to take down this high ground when you've got a Meepo. It's just so much damage output on these tier 3 towers. He's even got the Iron Skadi up into the racks now. Erice going to drop the Dream Coil. They need to stop this somehow. Zombies are out with the Tombstone Fan, already with the Borrowed Time. Now the Exorcism is there. woMy, he's being targeted, but he's just so darn tanky. Now the left track in with the Mana Void. It might be enough, but no. They don't have the damage output. Now Jamesy, he's gone. Van, he will kill off Mamang Daya, but it will cost him his own life. They already got the bot racks, and they even find Erice the boot. And they have plenty of time to make a rotation with that Exorcism into the mid-tier 2 tower. In fact, never mind, they don't have a creep wave. But you leave with the bot racks, you've got to be happy.
Oh, definitely. That's one lane that's constantly going to shove in here for Cignal Ultra. They're always going to have to deal with it. Their supports don't deal with it all too well. Erice can, but Grimzx really can't. And that's just one issue with Undying. He doesn't wave clear well. He's all about team fighting, all about sustain. Doesn't do much against a creep wave. So a lot more pressure on perhaps Erice if none of the cores can come in. Of course, you've got Leshrac and AM who can cleave through the creeps, but that pressure is just going to be hard. It makes it harder to lock in the Roche timing because of a wave shoving in. And you can see Army Geniuses here, they're not letting go of the control in this triangle. They're just standing their ground there, clearing out the camps, limiting the space for Bing. And he already has the Manta up in the AM, so again, added survivability. He just needs so much more to really have the impact you expect from an AM here up against a natural counter.
Absolutely. Cignal Ultra still just looking for a way back into this game, and it's going to be pretty much mostly up to Bing here. That mid-tier 2 tower, though, not going to survive very long at this rate. Roll in, LYM not on target, but he got the silence off right onto the Undying. They won't dive high ground again, not quite yet.
Radiant's middle tower.
You've got to get that
is
tier
under
2
attack.
tower first. With this siege creep, it's going to make it much easier. We will just continue tanking the tier 2. Boyle, though, has been committed. Pipe out. They have a lot of damage this time. woMy's dropping low and will drop. Cignal Ultra, they see the opening. They'll get something for their trouble. You didn't have Mamang Daya around either on the Meepo to help out. Couldn't really commit to the team fight. And speaking of Mamang Daya, they are trying to go for him right now, but he is going to poof away.
Yeah, it's a timely kill. I think they saw the Meepo rotate out of the lane. They assume that, alright, he doesn't have any of his Meepos nearby. The main Meepo is the one to run away. So they take that opportunity to find a massive kill. That was a big gold swing just from one kill. woMy had an 8-kill streak on him, worth 600 gold just going onto the Leshrac. So it's a good bounce back in. For Cignal, they're still 11k behind, but you're seeing some good items fly in. Jamesy has the Eternal Shroud up, so he can tank through some of that damage, can start to get some lifesteal as well with his spells, and Leshrac just absolutely loves that. Huge AoE on his spells, good amount of damage, so it's going to be harder to kill off Jamesy. The Ults has been causing issues as well. Jamesy just gets so much more damage. It's enough to drop this Meepo down by a significant amount. You really need woMy around with the pipe active at the right time to extend the Meepo's life here, and because of that, they retake control of the triangle. They don't manage to get the best wards by Roche. They still watch some of that area. They don't find the D ward here on the ramp side, so there's some information for AG to play with, but they can now safely contest Roche when it comes up in the next minute and a half. And as we've talked about before, Roche number 2 just feels like the most busted Roche. Aegis Cheese plus Ag Shard, it's just universally good. There's always going to be a hero that gets a huge boost from the Ag Shard. And you know, you have to contest it as a team every single time. Like, you've got the Ags up on this Meepo. Imagine if he had, you know, the poof upgrade. Poofing to allies within 2000 range. That sounds pretty broken for a Meepo's mobility there.
It kind of does. I don't know who they'd give the shards over to, but one team will have that decision to make very soon, as the Roshan is about 45 seconds away. Try and preemptively push out this top lane. Here's Cignal Ultra, and that'll allow them to control the Daya jungle, but there is going to be a team fight breaking out. LYM himself, and immediately Cignal Ultra, not liking what they see, do back off. They definitely weren't in a position as 5 to make that team fight happen. But both teams should be aware that the Roshan should be up at any moment now. Both want to be in position to make sure they can contest. As Van is going to run forward onto the Yoga. They're just going to let UK die here. It looks like they will. He's tanky, but he is eventually going to fall unless woMy can get in there. UK about to fall, but no, they found Erice. Not quite, though. They heal him up with the Soul Rip. Mamang Daya, he is in. Erice is gone. The Leshrac's surrounded. He's trying to fight back, but it's not looking great for him. They will take down Van now. Jamesy's still using that Pulse Nova, but he is going to drop. The Mana Void there on woMy, not going to be enough on Bing. He's going to go down as well. And everybody survives from Army Geniuses as they found another. That's a full team wipe out for Army Geniuses. And well, Mamang Daya, he had a field day there, John. He could hit anyone he wanted.
He got the Yules.
Oh no, Erice. He just fought back. He does not want to tie back right now. He's going to try and orb away. If you're DB, you want to get that kill on that dieback right here, right now. He sees him. Not going to be able to reach. Instead, they'll go back for the mid ranks, which is probably even better.
Yeah, it's such a massive win for Army Geniuses. They can take the racks. They can maybe look for Roche if they're not feeling confident for the short respawns. They should easily clear out that objective as well. But it's impossible to kill Mamang Daya. He just, you know, if he's dropping low, he gets the dig off with his Hags, and you're invulnerable. You just can't deal with the guy. You can maybe stun him out, but you can't damage him. In fact, he's untargetable as well, so it's just a point of regen. And Mamang Daya, he can stand in the middle confidently. They go into the Roche pit now. Ag Shard ready to go. And no matter who you give that to, it's going to be absolutely busted. I want to see it on Mamang Daya, though. I just want to see that proof to allies. It just sounds stupid. Stupid good.
But it could mess you up, though, couldn't it?
It could.
I'm not a Meepo player myself, but I imagine it could kind of screw you over. No, he takes it. He wants the chance, and now they're going in. OYM, he's already started the team fight with a big magnetize. woMy's in as well, right onto Van. They want the Abaddon gone. A big dream call, though, from Erice to hold the rest back to the split earth. Or rather, the Fire Blast is going to land. Erice not in safety's range yet, as he does die. Rolling again onto Jamesy, not going to land.
Oh, the poop.
Get the silence, they have the poops in, and there you go, John. There's the Meepo chance. Coming in handy as Jamesy is going to drop onto the Abaddon. Van is gone. Grimzx, he's not safe either. That's it, they call it GG. And 31 minutes into this game, Mamang Daya and the crew just looking way too strong, and they will take game one.
Yeah, spectacular performance coming out from Army Geniuses. They last picked the Meepo. It looked like it could have had a rough lane against Lashrak, held out its own. Cignal Ultra kind of locked themselves in that position.